It's weird. So I don't. Going back to your point.
Yeah.
Now I want to learn more about ants. I don't have time for that.
I don't know how to read.
Then give me back my Kindle.
Oh yeah, I still have that. Damn, that makes me want to read now.
Yeah, you wanted it.
But that's like saying that you can judge someone for running over people in GTA.
Okay, that's a pretty good counter argument.
How was your weekend?
Gone all too quickly, as they
Isn't
so
it
often
always?
are.
Isn't it always?
Yeah,
Although we had fun the other night.
yeah. We had some grand old times.
Yeah. Friday was cool. Just hanging out, chilling with the boys. Mm-hmm. Girlfriend passed out early. I was like, sweet. Right on.
Let's get down to the business
One
of
more.
serious degeneracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, sorry, I crashed early. I was like, what more could I ask for?
What time did you wake up?
Like 9. I had like 3 hours of sleep because we went to bed at like 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I woke up at 9, and then because my dad and his friend were coming over.
Oh, you had to tidy up.
I mean, you saw how like the condition the house was in.
I did. I saw that it was destroyed.
It was wrecked.
I mean, between filming the pod here,
Yeah.
all the setup that you did over there,
Right.
and all the boxes and all the shenanigans,
Yeah.
it was just a lot. So I'm very impressed that you woke up after all that. 3 hours of sleep, managed to make things presentable.
Yeah, well, I think it's less impressive because it wasn't like I woke up and I was like, I forced myself to do it. It was like I woke up with anxiety and I couldn't go back to sleep, and I was like, I need to do this.
Okay,
You know that?
okay, yeah.
It's a different kind of motivation.
It is. It's not the most fun motivation, but it's effective.
But it is effective. I feel like that's how I operate.
Yeah.
It's not the most ideal, but it works. It is a proven method.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, the place cleans up all right. The place cleans up
does.
all right after there's not 20 tons of cardboard boxes in the house and just film equipment everywhere like there is now. Mm-hmm. It just goes to this ebb and flow where it's like it's clean and then it's a disaster and then it's clean and then it's a disaster.
I think once the ceiling fan is out and you got some lighting in that area,
Yeah,
it's gonna be on point because
Yeah.
the table, the chairs, the cabinet, they're popping off.
yeah, it's coming together. It's looking good.
It is.
My dad came over yesterday and with his friend and they were actually sitting and standing at the new table. Mm-hmm. Like it just feels really good. Like when you buy something like a new piece of furniture and then people start enjoying it, like they start using it and you're like yes.
You didn't invite them over to the table. They just chose to use it organically, and you're like, yeah, it's working as intended.
Exactly. Because I've bought pieces of furniture before and invited people over, had a party, and no one uses it, no one touches it. I'm like, well, what's the point?
Your poor
it's
outdoor
a fail.
furniture.
Yeah.
It's nice outdoor furniture.
Welcome
it's just,
to the patio.
The problem is transitioning, having a group situation, and then people transitioning to inside and outside.
Yeah.
Is there's a snag, which is the cats, and I think that hinders the quick in
flow.
and out. Yeah,
The flow.
That's
For
the right
sure.
word for it.
Yeah, I mean that's why when I hosted I had a birthday party here a few years ago. It was 20 people or something, and I put the cats in my bedroom.
I recall.
It was the first time I had done that, and I actually put their food and water and the litter box all in there so they would be accommodated, or so I thought. And then I check on them a few hours later to find out that one of them, if not both of them, has shit and pissed on my bed.
They were very deeply offended.
They were not happy. They were like, "This is our house. Why would you? This is a siege. You just stormed the Capitol, bro."
You basically you made them hostages.
Yeah,
And they were
and they
fought
retaliated.
back.
They retaliated. It was resistance for sure. it was a gnarly resistance, and I was like, "Damn, dude!" And
that did some damage.
it was on my birthday. They waited specifically for the happiest moment of the year for me to just desecrate my spirits. It was a mission. I almost bought a new mattress, but I ended up
You managed to revive it.
I revived it.
Were you sleeping
after
on the
weeks.
couch?
I was sleeping on the couch for weeks until like it eventually no longer smelled like cat piss, which I mean takes forever. You know, I was pouring just like tons of like baking soda and vinegar, and then more baking soda and cleaning solution, everything, and then just kept repeating until maybe 3 weeks later, almost a month.
Jeez.
Till finally I was like, okay, I don't actually smell it, so I think it's good. And now I have like a waterproof cover over it.
There you go.
So that
That's the
will
move.
Never be that. I'll never have that problem again.
See, you've adapted to their attacks.
I've gotten stronger. They've made me a better me.
They are currently wearing Chinese New Year outfits, which I think is quite spot on.
Yeah, it's pretty perfect. And they, it was funny when we put those on today. Mel got them from Temu. They're like $6 a pop, but they're actually kind of nice. And we put them on, and they were just like meowing and crying the whole time, like meow, meow. And then like once they were on, they just like they were frozen. They were like gargoyles. They wouldn't move, and they had this look on their face like they look so violated. And I was like, dude, you guys are such babies. They're
They
such
really are.
babies. Like, they're so spoiled.
So how long did it take them to adjust and start like moving around and catting again?
We gave them some food. There was some snacks involved.
Okay, well,
and
then
they
that-
forgot all about it. You know? Give them a little treat. They're
Nice.
fine. Yeah, dude.
Some well spoiled kitties.
For sure.
I just emptied their litter box.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
I was like, I was congratulating one of them on making a dookie, and then I was like trying to like cycle it, and I was like, oh, it's full.
Damn.
Gotta
I need to be
cycle.
better about everything.
You know what?
Like-
Here's the thing.
They're still alive though.
That's proof positive. Here's the
that's
thing.
bare minimum though. That's bare minimum.
I think
I need to do better.
it's nice to have people who help out.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're the kind of person to just like completely lapse into relying on that and expecting that. You appreciate it, and you realize like you still have it to do. Like if somebody's not helping out with something, you still take care of it.
Yeah, sure. It's like it's weird. It's like it goes both ways. It's like I don't expect anyone to help me, but I also don't really notice when anyone helps me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is like, it doesn't give an excuse. Like that's not an excuse to not acknowledge it. But whenever I do acknowledge it, I'm very appreciative of it. I'm very grateful. But part of it is like the other 50% of it is acknowledging it and noticing. You know, it's like
It doesn't.
it's like
It
when
doesn't really.
when you're in a relationship, it's like you don't notice. It's like you don't notice all the nice things I do for you, even if it's like nothing that you asked for.
Yeah.
If someone's like showing like that's their love language, you should still acknowledge it, even if it's not your love language of receiving. You should still acknowledge that they're trying to do something nice, that they're taking an extra step for you, and like be appreciative of it. And like I don't know. I guess I just don't know how to be more cognizant or more aware of those things. They just go over my head like I'm just aloof. I'm just very aloof. I don't know how to get
You are
less
not
aloof.
especially aware of your environment.
Yeah, right.
In certain respects,
For sure.
you
Yeah, I'm very aloof.
and I don't think that's something that is.
How do I get less aloof?
It's not intentional.
No, it's not. But I could work on it. I could intentionally work on being less aloof. Like I'm just not sure how to do that.
Practicing situational awareness.
How do you do that? I don't even know what that entails.
I'm sure you can. I'm sure I can
Google it. I'll Google it. I just thought maybe you already had some pointers.
Well,
But if not, I can Google it. I can definitely.
here's an
hit up the
example.
good.
I don't remember where I read about this. It might be from some actual legitimate training document or from a book or like fiction or something.
Yeah.
But an example of practicing situational awareness in the context of like, I don't remember. It was espionage or somebody who's like super paranoid and security conscious or something. It's like they regularly go outside and look at the cars on the street. They look at what cars are out there, what the license plate numbers are, like the make and model of the car, and what time they come and what time they go, and they keep a log of that, and so
in their mind, or they write it down.
They write it down.
Yeah,
and they get a good clear idea of what normal activity in the neighborhood looks like. Okay. So then it becomes, once they have a good clear idea of that, anything abnormal becomes readily apparent.
Okay.
I don't know how that translates to
it's like, so should I
your
just be
situation.
Should I just be logging everything that everyone around me does? It's like
you could just put a little piece of paper on the fridge.
Yeah.
And write poop log.
Poop log.
And just check it off. Every Wednesday that you check the litter box.
Or like I could like write down like it could be like a mom log. So it's like anytime you or Mel or anyone does something like mom like for me, they write it down. Like, oh, took out the trash. Or, you know what I mean? It's like you've worked retail. It's like they have a bathroom log, like who's cleaned the bathroom. Could be that. It's like, oh, took out the trash.
Because you don't know what you don't know, right?
You don't know what you don't know.
And so if things are magically getting done, and you don't know that they're getting done,
dude.
That's I've experienced that at work before, where somebody was there a really long time, they were really experienced,
right?
And they did a lot of things that needed doing, but nobody really knew that those things needed doing because that person was always doing them.
Yeah, right.
And then they left, and then all of a sudden it was like, wait, we have to do this?
Oh.
Who was, oh.
Turns out that person was doing stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, there were several things that were like, they fell behind, and then it was like, oh, I didn't realize somebody was assigned to that. I thought the team was taking care of it or whatever.
Yeah.
And now
I just thought the bathroom cleaned itself.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was a dude doing that.
Right.
For 3 years. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Like, Mel's very good with it. Like, very good. Like, after every weekend, because we spend weekends together and she goes home at the end of the weekend, she'll text me when she gets home, and it will be like this long paragraph of just thank you for XYZ. Like, every little thing I did for her, or with her.
It's almost like she's building a journal.
It's a giant. It's a thank you note. It's a thank you card. She sends me a paragraph long thank you card after every single weekend. And at first, I was like, when we first started dating, I was just like, oh, thanks. Like, had a fun weekend. And then at some point, I was like, I should probably do the same. I should probably reciprocate. Mm-hmm. And like, it's nice. It's like so for like over a year now, I've responded back with like another paragraph, like, thank you for this, thank you for that, thank you for taking out the trash, thank you for doing the dishes, thank you for buying these fucking Chinese New Year suits for the cats. Like all the little things, like little trivial, like seemingly trivial things that you end up being like having a lot of gratitude for. Like, you say that in a message, and she's taught me that, but
I think that's really cool.
It's really cool. I like it a lot. And I'm still, she's much better at it than I am, where it's like I'll get maybe like 7 out of 10 things, and then I'll like a day or two later, I'll be like, oh, and there was that other thing. Like, she bought me new barbecue sauce. Like, she saw that I was low on barbecue sauce the week before, and she showed up to my house with barbecue, like my favorite barbecue sauce. And like, I forgot to thank her for that thing. And so now it's like it kind of forces you to remember all the little things that this person's done for you. And I think it's great. I think it's a great practice.
Okay. So that is a great example of, number one, a crazy healthy thing to do in a relationship. Like, if it's the right thing for that relationship.
Yeah.
I can't see that being the wrong thing for many relationships.
I can't either.
But it's also like, one thing that I know about Mel is that she is very thoughtful and she has a long memory.
She does.
And she will go and
dude.
she'll go and mine her memories for thoughtful things to bring back.
Yes.
Like callbacks.
Yes. Yes.
And
100%. But not like,
not
as ammo.
Exactly.
Not as, like, ammo.
That's a toxic thing
trait
to do.
for sure. No, it's the opposite.
It's
like,
the opposite.
Let me remember this.
It's a wonderful thing.
It is.
So but also by practicing that with her, by doing a thank you letter, basically,
right?
You're creating a log, like a journal, a co-journal of maybe things that are trivial, but altogether it adds up to like all this cool stuff that's happened in your relationship that you both you shared all these experiences,
right?
You appreciated each other,
right?
And you can go back in there, dig through it, and find stuff that you're like, okay, this is meaningful. I can do something with this, the same way that she does with you.
I think that's how my experience with relationships has gone. Is like you realize like it's all just an accumulation of a bunch of little things.
Yeah.
Most relationships, it's all the little things, all the little gestures. It's not some grand gesture. It's like, oh, I bought you
some
a
Hollywood
private flight, or whatever. Like I'm taking you to fucking Bali or whatever the fuck.
Car with a bow on it.
It's all the little, a car with a bow on it. That's a perfect example. It's not the like these grandiose, superficial things. It's all the little moments.
Yeah.
Right. It's all the little moments that add up to the big picture. And she acknowledges all that in this single text, and I've begun to do the same because of her. And I've even caught myself like writing things down like in the middle of the weekend while I'm with her, like on my notepad on my phone. I'm like, oh, remember that she like did that, like she washed my car, or like she like helped me, like store all the Christmas, like she helped me set up the Christmas tree, or she bought a bunch of shit on Temu for the cats. Like that was a nice thing because I will forget, like, and it's like. She helps me not forget, which is very nice.
I think that's actually it has a multitude of benefits. One of them that I see potentially is when you make it a habit to write things down, because it's like, again, it's sort of like a miniature journal entry.
Yeah.
When you make it a habit to do that, then there's something about committing something to paper that helps it stick in your memory better.
100%.
Not only that, but you can always go back to the paper.
For sure.
So actually, maybe start just journaling for yourself. Just journal your days, even if it's relatively mundane things, or if you had a particularly insightful thought. And because how many times have you thought of a really cool idea
and wrote it down
and not wrote it down?
Oh, most of the time.
Exactly.
That's most people.
How many cool ideas have been lost to brain fog?
Yeah.
So I mean I should journal, or diary or whatever you want to call it, but
right.
If you want something that helps you be more situationally aware, then if you go through your day with the mindset of having a processor thread, essentially, that's dedicated to identifying whether something is noteworthy, whether it's, it should be documented or considered or whatever.
Right.
If you have at least one thread working on that constantly in the background, and you channel that into regularly journaling, whatever.
Sure.
I think that could be a great thing for building situational awareness.
I have journaled in the past, and it was very positive. I had a very positive experience with it. It was a couple of years ago, and I was going through I was in a rough patch or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how I felt about certain things. I just was confused. And so I kind of just put pen to paper and was like, just let the stream of consciousness flow.
Right.
And then I would kind of look back at what I had written, and even days later sometimes, and gone, do I still feel that way?
Yeah.
And then you realize you change so frequently. You change so rapidly. Like what you wrote in your journal a few days ago, like a couple days, may not be what you feel then. But it's still valid that you felt that way at that moment. And it's cool to see the progression of how just like volatile you are, how like just how you're never really locked into a certain train of thought, that you have the freedom and the sort of existential choice to really just perceive the world as you want.
Definitely.
It's very cool. It's very cool. Journaling was great. I did it for a very short period, and then I think it had helped so much that I stopped it, because it's like when you go to therapy enough, and you're like, oh, I feel like I don't need this anymore. But I think it is still good. I think it would be still good to like check in occasionally with myself in that way.
Definitely. It's sort of like when doctors are prescribing you antibiotics and they tell you, listen, you need to finish these. You're going to feel better on day 5. But if you don't keep taking them all the way through day 8,
coming back, baby.
It's coming back.
It's coming back with a vengeance, dude.
Right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
But it's so easy to go, oh, it's working. I feel better. I don't need to do it anymore. It worked.
Yeah.
As opposed to it is working because I'm doing the work.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we are very reactionary for the most part.
I prefer the term complacent.
Complacent.
At least for myself.
We're definitely like complacent versus what would be the antithesis of that? Like proactive.
Proactive, yeah.
Or preemptive, Yeah, totally, man. Totally.
I feel like as we've taken the podcast out of the studio and in here and then arrived on the couch, it's just become more and more
sesh?
just chill, like not as structured necessarily,
which I like.
Yeah,
which I like a lot.
And
lets your hair down. You let your hair down a little bit on the couch,
right?
Versus in like a studio environment.
I didn't mind the studio.
I didn't either. I think it's a different vibe for sure.
It is,
but I think both vibes are cool. I guess this would be a good time to ask the audience, the listeners, what do you guys prefer? Do you guys prefer like us back at the studio, which like we're cool either way, or do you like us just kind of chilling here on the couch? It's a bit more casual. It's been several episodes since I actually planned a show.
Yeah. So it's been freeform for a while now.
It's been very freeform, and I know that I feel like I'm not. You are very interesting, but I'm not interesting enough to just like freeform and like that be entertainment. That be entertaining enough for an hour. So I feel like I've been kind of slacking a little bit and kind of not really doing the best content I can with this show. But I also did want to test out what it would be like if we just freeformed and just talked.
Yeah.
And just get, the core listener's opinion of like how they feel about that.
Yeah.
I think it's good to have feedback.
We want to hear like what.
Yeah, please
what
let us
kind
know.
of format, content you want more of. What you like.
Yeah, because this is all like this show is still very much in its infancy. We're still just throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. We've tried a number of different
you should
things.
See that wall.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stains.
It's slippery, dude. You don't want to touch that wall without washing your hands after. But no, it's nice, dude. This is episode 33. Done 33 of these in the can.
All right.
It's also been over half a year. It's been like 7-8 months.
Wow.
It's been 7 or 8 months. What are we gonna do for our 1 year? We got to do like we gotta have a 1 year anniversary or something.
I'll put some thought on that. I think one thing that I've noticed that's interesting is I feel like the first maybe third of the podcast that I was doing, like a lot of my content was just telling stories.
Yeah, which is great.
And I feel like I've run out of stories. Like I
don't know. Yeah,
I haven't
thinks that too.
I haven't worked that hard to go digging around in there.
Sure. Yeah.
But I don't have like stories popping up into my mind like, oh, this is a good one. I want to tell this.
I think it's on us to like think of different topics to talk about that sort of spark those memories.
True.
Because there's a lot of stuff in there. Like, there are certain stories that you only remember when someone asks you about something.
That's totally true.
Right? And then you're like,
They'll arise spontaneously.
100%. I think there's always those core memories that you have that you can just, they're like, it's like they're on speed dial. You can just access them very quickly.
Yeah.
They're in your root folder. But then there's like ones that are deeper down in like the subfolders and stuff that you're like, oh, I need to be reminded that happened and stuff. But they're there. We've lived a good life so far, you know?
Have you ever eaten an ant?
I think accidentally, and it was spicy.
That's the exact word.
Spicy, right?
Yeah.
It's like kind of. Oh, it just feels like a
burning,
like a dirty hot Cheeto. You know.
I used to. I think it was 5th or 6th grade. I used to eat, like, me and a few of the boys would go and eat ants.
You and the boys just like hitting the bar, just
hide behind this this bush and be like, how many ants can you eat? And the funny thing is,
as a challenge.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I think it's either they're biting your tongue or they're releasing formic acid. Although I don't think the little black Argentina ants, I don't know how much, if they have formic acid on them or not. But,
right, yeah.
But definitely, I remember my mom had baked this really delicious cake. It was just like this giant coffee cake.
Okay, yeah. Coffee cake's great.
And she put it outside to cool, and it got ants in it super fast. And we had some friends staying, and they were like teens, and one of them was just like, well, whatever. He didn't.
Screw it.
Yeah, I don't think he knew how the Argentine ants worked, but
okay.
He was like, oh, I'm gonna eat a slice of it anyway. Bit into it, was chewing it for a second. He was just like, just grabbing ants off of his tongue.
Oh God! And then you instantly followed?
No, like... I knew it was gonna happen.
Okay, so you didn't have any ants that day.
No. This was after my ant eating phase.
Okay. Yeah, I think there was like an ant on like the rim of my cup or something, either a cup or like a can of soda, and it was like starting to get used to it. And I took a sip, and I was like, oh, there's an ant. There's like a couple ants on it.
An ant bit my dick one time.
An ant? You had a
It was
dick
on.
bite
It was
from
on.
an ant?
It was on the rim of the toilet.
I thought you said the rim of your dick. I was like, wait,
It was on the rim of the toilet.
Okay.
And I was sitting on the toilet, and somehow it got off the rim of the toilet onto my dong.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden,
Transfer.
I feel like this intense pinch. And I'm just like, what the hell is this? Just like, I stand up, start swatting at my genitals.
Oh, you just whacking your dick? Just like smacking your dick?
Once I figured out it was this ant, I just brushed it off.
Did it leave a mark after the bite?
Kind of a little red mark.
Whoa. That's crazy because I've had ants, we've all had ants crawl on us a million times, but never have they actually bit us.
I didn't understand.
For the one time he's on your dick,
those ants almost never bite you. So like he just went on this long journey.
He's definitely a gay ant. That's a gay ant. He's like finally some
He's a dick biting kamikaze ant, man. And I don't know why that happened, but it was a very piquant sensation just on the old hog.
Fucking that ant, dude.
That totally ruined my bathroom sesh.
Yeah, dude. You think there's gay ants? There's gotta be.
I don't know, man, because
there's gotta be some gay ants.
Well,
if it's not, it can't just be limited to us.
Ants have very specific reproductive behavior.
Well, I mean, we do too.
It's very specialized.
Or it's an anomaly a bit for us too. It's not like it's super common.
Ants have massive sexual dimorphism compared to humans.
What's dimorphism?
Okay, sexual dimorphism is when the male and the female of one species are substantially different.
Oh, okay. Like the queen is completely different than
the males. The queen is a female.
Right. She's huge and she runs shit.
She makes eggs. She makes pheromones that and communicates with the ants to control like the colony.
So put this in human terms. if we operated sexually like ants, there'd be like one chick.
There's no. I don't think I can do that easily, because here's the thing: the queen is female.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong about this. I know this is the case for bees. No, I don't. Anyway, the queen is female, but all the workers are male.
I think
I want to say they're male.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
But the workers are not the ones who have sex. They just work.
So who has sex with the female?
There are male ants that are born that are like specifically for breeding. So that's their job.
So there's like beta ants and Chad ants.
I mean,
basically,
if you want to use the most
I'm trying to relate it.
Terms.
I'm trying to relate it to us, you know? Like, so there's like this one super hot chick that everyone would be like super down to pound. But there's like obviously a group of dudes who are betas that just do all the work, and there's a group of dudes that are like meant for breeding. And they're just like, they're the Giga Chads, the Giga Chad ants.
I don't know how often they actually breed. I was under the impression that one breeding session, like the queen basically then gets a ton of eggs fertilized.
Then why would she need a bunch of males?
It's
like got to be very few.
Yeah,
Chads.
they're
very
rare.
Few Chads.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird. So going back to your point.
Yeah.
Now I want to learn more about ants. I don't have time for that.
Don't you just wish? We're an expert on everything.
So
pretty cool.
Going back to your point, gay ants.
Gay ants, dude. There's got to be at least one gay ant in the. There's more ants in like my backyard than there are humans in the universe, or I don't know, some ridiculous statistic like that. One of them has to be gay. One of them has to, like, that's the one that bit your dick, dude.
Statistically speaking, it's probable. It's certainly possible. It might even be probable.
Out of trillions of ants, one has to be gay.
I mean, how can you define gay in an ant? Because
let's say he's a worker ant.
Okay, here's the thing.
He's like, he wants to screw one of the Chad ants.
But they don't want anything. Ants can't want.
But maybe he's just maybe not desire.
They're too basic.
But maybe he will screw another. He'll try to screw. You ever see a dog try to screw another dog? It's not like, oh, that dog's gay. if it's like two male dogs, it's not like that dog's gay, but like he's kind of gay.
Or is he just misdirected?
There's some misdirected ants.
I mean, because I've seen deer do that too. Like I've seen a picture of three stags in a row.
But you don't think there's any kind of like inherent like predisposition in any one particular ant that just is somehow gravitated? Maybe not. There's no conscious desire to sleep with another male ant, but there's this biological weird maybe he's a biological anomaly.
Maybe I will say it's possible there's an ant that its programming is broken,
right?
Because they are essentially, I mean, they're a tiny amount of processing power.
Yeah,
like impressive for its size, but still relatively very small.
Sure.
That just runs a very
different firmware.
It's a pretty basic set of instructions, like if-then statements, right?
Yeah.
And
it's like 2-page manual.
Yeah,
for an ant's mind.
And if a bit gets flipped in the wrong place, then maybe an if-then statement gets changed, and then all of a sudden this ant is just like, a male ant that is gonna try to get it on with another male ant. Like both the reproducing type.
Right.
It's certainly possible.
What do you think the other ants would do if they found out?
They would ignore that.
They would just. But I mean, could they ignore it if there's like another dude ant just trying to hump the other Chads?
They don't perceive things like that.
But I mean, like it interrupts their flow.
It doesn't really interrupt their flow.
If he's really really into it, like really just going off on all the other male ants,
as long as
it's gonna be a distraction.
As long as neither one of them has a pressing task that is relied upon.
Aren't they all working? They're either working or they're breeding. They all have a task, no?
I mean, unless
no one's just chilling on the beach. No ants just like
that's the thing is
chilling.
No ants chill on the beach. So if for some reason a couple of them were chilling on the beach, getting it on, nobody would notice because they don't conceive of such a thing.
What if the gay ant is trying to sleep with one of the ants on his shift? He hasn't.
Okay,
he's
you're
on the clock.
Anthropomorphizing ants far too much.
Are you punning right now?
No, it's an actual word.
Oh, okay. But is ant in the word? Because that'd be kind of perfect.
The first 3 letters are A and T.
That's pretty good.
It was not intentional. The anthropomorphizing is
pun intended.
Taking human characteristics and applying them to something that does not have human characteristics.
That is actually like the most perfect word you could have used for this situation. Because it has ant in it. It's punny and relevant. God. You might be a gay ant. If you were an ant, you might be the gay ant, dude.
Okay, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Is
there's got to be a gay. All right. Do you think some ants have Down syndrome?
Okay, chromosomal anomalies.
All right.
Do weird things across all kinds of different species.
You think it's more likely that there's a Down syndrome ant than a gay ant?
I think it's extremely unlikely. I think it's extremely unlikely that there is a Down syndrome equivalent ant because ants, if they are defective, they die or they are killed rapidly.
Oh, do you think they'd kill a gay ant? Because was
deemed
honest question.
Yeah.
If the gay ant was actually gay, trying to have sex with the other male ants, it technically would not be operating in the best interest of the pack. Would they deem that defective and would they kill the gay ant? And technically, does that mean ants are homophobic?
I don't know why I'm an ant expert.
Yeah.
Apparently,
I don't know why I'm treating you like like you clearly have all the ant answers. All the answers. All right.
As far as I know, as long as they're not actively disrupting or causing danger, or setting off signals that indicate danger,
right?
A couple of ants and an ant colony can behave however they want,
right?
And there would be no attention given whatsoever because,
right,
like they're a hive mind.
Yeah.
So an individual ant is like a finger.
Yeah, it's just a digit.
And so they're all just going around
the sum of its parts type of thing.
Right. So no individual ant has the capacity to see another ant doing something, or not even their vision is pretty minimal. So sense being primarily touch and smell via pheromones.
Yeah.
Pheromones and other volatile chemicals.
Yeah.
There's not a lot. If you had some ant that just was like, it decided to go on vacation, it was just going to sit there, and eat and do nothing.
They would just avoid them.
It could just live out its life.
It's like when you put a finger down in front of an ant's path, he just tries to go around you. He doesn't like try to fight it.
Yeah.
But what if your finger was trying to fuck the ant?
I don't know. I don't know what kind of answer.
Think about the chaos that would ensue. Because think about this. With ants, there's one female, and the rest of that colony are male. So if you have a gay ant in that group, he's surrounded by dudes. It's not like humans where it's like 50-50, where it's like there's like it's 50, like half the temptation. But if 99.9% of all the people around you are things you want to put your wiener in,
you're applying human sexuality.
I'm formulating, like you said, whatever the word was, antagonistic. Anthropology.
Anthropomorphizing. Anthro is like humans.
Uh-huh.
Morph is like shape. So human shape,
human
being,
form, being,
kind of.
Yeah.
That's
being of a human form.
A rough breakdown of that word is taking something and applying human shape or human characteristics to it.
Yeah.
When it doesn't actually possess them.
Your Latin class paid off.
There's probably some Greek root words in there. I should know whether that's Latin or Greek based.
All right. We can put the gay ant conversation to rest for now. I feel like we've tackled some good things.
I read a series of sci-fi books
about
that included a lot of stuff about ants. Like the ants were they played a very key role
in civilization.
In a civilization. Basically, humans were like, hey, we're going to go to this planet. We're going to terraform it.
Yeah.
And then we're going to send monkeys down there.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have a special nanomachine that's like a virus that tweaks their DNA to make them more intelligent and see, what they evolve into over time.
Okay.
But then they did some oopsies. And instead of monkeys, they sent down another species of animal.
Ants
were there.
Oh, they were.
But they sent not a full copy of Earth's ecosystem, but like a good smattering of everything.
Yeah.
And they forgot that they didn't send the monkeys, so something else ended up getting infected with that DNA altering nanovirus and getting its especially intelligence boosted and evolving towards what we were trying to do, which is uplift an animal towards sentience.
Yeah.
And it ends up quite unexpectedly involving later on using entire ant colonies as computers. Which I thought was a pretty interesting concept. Which is you have an entire ant colony, like
sending instructions,
like millions and millions or even trillions of ants, and each one is essentially like acting like a neuron. Where
because it is a hive mind.
Right, and the way that neurons work is they interconnect.
Yeah.
They're connected to multiple neurons around them and they send signals to them.
Right.
And there's some processing that happens within them, and then depending on that processing, they might send a signal back, they might forward it somewhere else, they might do a lot of different things.
What animal did they send instead of
I'm not saying because
really?
Because I want you to read a damn book.
No, I'm not going to read a book, man. I don't know how to read.
Then give me back my Kindle.
Oh yeah, I still have that. Damn, that makes me want to read now.
You're like the fact that I'm like, give it back. You're
yeah.
Wait,
no, I'm gonna use that.
No, that's mine now.
Now suddenly I have plans for it.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I do. I do want to read more. I would like to read more. I just don't know what to do with my time, honestly.
In case anyone's wondering, the book is Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky, I believe is the pronunciation.
Nice.
And then it's a whole series.
I got to read more. It's tricky though. Because you read very fast, and that's because you've read so much.
I read fast and loose.
Fast and loose. I read slow and also loose.
All right.
It's just very slow. But I should read more. I should prioritize it. There's just so many other things.
Like what? You take an hour out of your day.
Man. I mean, I guess so.
Because I don't know what your day looks like necessarily, and
I would have an hour.
You have an hour to spare?
It. Dude, there's so many things that I'd like.
You can listen to an audiobook while you're on your elliptical, dude.
I could.
Or while you drive. Dude, listening to audiobooks while you drive is like...
I don't drive much.
That's true.
Elliptical could work, but I usually need to get pumped up, like to get motivated on an elliptical. I need like music, like something with a beat.
I would say read on the elliptical, but you're gonna hurt yourself.
I would probably get nauseous. I'd probably throw up on the elliptical. Probably be a smelly elliptical afterwards. But
okay, so here's the thing.
Dude.
I feel like this is a good chance to address this question. Because talking about reading reminded me of this.
Okay.
Somebody, Omer Dad 10 on Discord, posted an Ask a Guest.
Okay.
I would like to have some more information about Ian. We all know about Kyle's career, but have no idea about Ian.
Ooh.
How come he is so smart? What is he doing for a living? Is he single?
Nice.
Most importantly,
Is he single?
is he cleaning his butt from top to bottom or bottom to top?
That's the most interesting thing you can ask.
And I'm going to save that one for the end of the podcast.
For last. Yeah, okay. All right, yeah. Best for last. All right, so yeah, what is your background? Like,
okay,
obviously,
so
however much you're willing and ready to share.
The first thing I want to touch on is the question, how come he is so smart?
First of all, let's address why I'm such a genius.
I'm not actually super smart.
You are very smart.
I'm good at acting like I'm smart.
You're both.
I'm good at giving the impression that I'm smart.
I think that it's possible to be both. You are both very smart, and you're also good at acting like you're smart. So it's like,
but a
lot of it is well-founded, and it's like, oh yeah, like, and that's why it's hard to know when you're bullshitting, because like a lot of the things you say are actually true and good information, and like, so all the parts that you think you're bullshitting, most people are just like, they just take it as truth, because like, it's like you're like Andrew Tate in that way.
Excuse you.
Okay. Hear me out. Andrew Tate has a way of saying, he'll start by saying certain things that pretty much anyone would agree with. They're very basic. He tries to make them sound grandiose, but they're very basic, like, truths of life. You're like, yeah, that makes sense. I agree with this guy. And then he throws in a curveball where you're like, what the fuck is that? Hell no. But I think because people instantly agree with the first 70% of what he said, they think the last 30 must be true as well.
So he goes with the majority of legitimacy and then slips in some bullshit.
Right.
And then it blends.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I definitely may be guilty of that.
Yeah, like the vividness that you can experience when reading a book. Have you ever read a book like on psychedelics?
No.
Audiobook? Ever like listened to an audiobook on psychedelics? Because I wonder if you're just like on like in that state, eyes closed, just imagining. I wonder.
Seems like it would be very challenging to like,
because your brain would just go off in space. Like you wouldn't be able to actually focus.
I don't know. I haven't tried it. I feel like it would be very challenging. It might be very rewarding.
Right.
But I would probably say, don't knock it till you tried it, I guess.
Yeah. That's I've never tried it either.
But
I couldn't read while on it because like the words would just be
okay. Actually, that could be a significant issue. It's
that would not work.
You can't read a word if it keeps changing.
Right.
Have you ever noticed in dreams, if you ever look at a clock, or if you try to read something
in your dream,
in a dream, it's like
fucked up.
It keeps changing, or it's warping, or whatever.
It's
very frustrating.
It's like AI in hands.
Yes. Yeah. Or even how AI has been doing. It's gotten a lot better at text, but for a while it was
text
making
resolve.
Text. It just looked like text from a distance, but when you actually got up close, it was just nonsense, like gibberish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen seen the clock or anything like text in a dream.
Really?
I don't think I have. Not to my.
That's one good way to check if you are dreaming, which apparently is a thing sometimes. There are certain people who need to check regularly if they're dreaming. Mm-hmm. Is look at a clock.
In your dream.
Or
in real life.
Wherever you are.
In whatever state you're in.
Look at a clock, wait 10 seconds, look at it again.
See if it's
10 seconds later or if it's a completely different time. If it's a completely different time, you're probably dreaming.
I feel like if I can remember to look at the clock again in 10 seconds or 10 minutes, then I'm not dreaming, because if I was in a dream, I would not even think about like unless I was like having this insane lucid dream.
Yeah.
Where I like kind of knew already that I was dreaming.
Man,
which
lucid dreaming is so cool. Like
I've experienced it once in my life. And
yeah, I would say maybe a handful of times.
Literally once, and I was like, I can just fly. Like, and I was like, I could feel myself flying.
Yeah.
And I knew that I was dreaming, but it still felt real. And I could tell I told myself like, this is not really happening, but I can control. I have some say in how this dream goes.
Lucid dreaming.
It was amazing. It was once, and that's the only time I remember it.
Well, there's a whole community of people out there who are all about like learning to get into lucid dreaming, and
right.
And for me, every time I've become aware that I was dreaming, it's almost like I'm rising towards the surface of. I'm like underwater. I'm rising towards the surface
of reality.
Yeah. And the more I realize I'm dreaming, the more of control I can take of the dreaming, the closer I am to the surface.
Yeah.
And then what I've never learned is to stay under the surface.
Yeah, right.
I keep becoming more and more aware.
Yeah.
And then I just wake up.
You wake up. Yeah. It becomes involuntary.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But yeah, it's interesting when you can. Well, it's not even something that you can. Like in my experience, it wasn't something that I could control, where I was like trying to hold back or keep myself from reaching that wakefulness, that wakeful state. It was just this weird in between that I was in, where I wasn't really awake and I wasn't really dreaming. I was just somewhere in between, and I was aware. I think that was a big thing. I was aware that I was in this weird, unique spot, and I was like, "Well, let's have some fun here."
Yeah.
It was very cool. It was very cool. And
okay, question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think that the contents of your dreams
matter? Have meaning?
Like, okay, let's say you're lucid dreaming and you decide, I'm just gonna go GTA. I'm gonna go drive cars over people and shoot helicopters with RPGs.
Wreak havoc.
Just be completely immoral and unethical, whatever.
Okay.
Do you think that the choices to do those things consciously within a dream could or should be held against you as a person, or if dreams are dreams sacred? Is dreaming a sacred environment where it's your universe? You can do what you want. Nobody can judge you for what you do in your dreams.
Why would someone be able to judge you for your dreams?
I guess if you told them that you did that.
But it's a dream. That's like judging someone.
But here's the thing: is if you dreamed it,
you chose it.
Yeah, you wanted it.
But that's like saying that you can judge someone for running over people in GTA.
Okay, that's a pretty good counter argument.
What's the difference?
Yeah. I guess because in a dream, it has a lot more reality to it. Even if you know it, even if you know you're dreaming, it's still dreams can feel just as real as reality. Like I've had a couple times that freaked me out where I woke up and got out of bed and did something, and then I woke up.
Yeah.
I hadn't actually woken up the first time. I was dreaming that I had woken up.
Sure.
And then I woke up from that and I was like, "Oh shit. Am I awake?"
It's like Inception.
Yeah. I've had that happen a couple times, and it was like,
I have had that
because
as well.
you can dream and it's indistinguishable from reality because you're unaware. But
right.
if you're aware of it, you're aware it's not reality. It has no effect on our reality, but in your dream, it is. Dreams are real within dreams, right?
Yeah, sure. I still don't think you can judge anyone, even if like we had some like Black Mirror technology that allowed you to like look in someone's dreams and like analyze everything frame by frame what they were experiencing, what the decisions that they made in their dream.
I am terrified by that idea, and I love that idea at the same time.
I think that's the point of like Black Mirror as like a whole series, right? That's the whole ethos of the whole fucking show. But I think you still can't, because we still understand so little about dreams. We still understand so little about what goes on and how they work and what they mean, if they mean anything at all, if it's just like fucking pawns just firing in our heads randomly. Like you don't even know if like you're conscious, if in your mind you think you're making a decision willingly, like let's say you think you're lucid dreaming, like I'm gonna mow everyone down and just shoot a bunch of fucking people. Like you can't even know. We don't even understand if that's our innate consciousness making that decision, or if it's just, or if we're dreaming that we're making that decision. You know what I mean? It's like, is that really you making that decision? Is that really your identity, you as a person making that decision, or is that you in a dream-like state, just imagining it? Is it you know what I mean? Like we don't understand enough about it.
Dreams have always interested me because they're
insane.
They're such a quintessentially human thing. I mean, it's clear that animals dream. Like
those cats look like they're fucking dreaming right now, dude.
Like dogs and cats and other animals dream.
Yeah.
But humans, like, we can remember our dreams. We can analyze them or be, frightened by them. Yeah, exactly. Like,
sure.
Have you ever woken up crying?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And made
decisions based on the dreams I had.
Yeah,
for sure.
They're so hard to research. Like the scientific, like dreams are the slipperiest thing.
Yeah.
For the scientific method to grasp onto.
Right. Yeah.
Because they are so. Yeah. Because we understand so little about how the brain works.
That's why I think you can't really judge someone for the dreams they have, because even if you claim to have a lucid dream, there's no evidence, there's no proof that we're actually choosing those decisions, that we're actually making those decisions consciously. You know what I mean? Like we might just think we are.
Right. I've had dreams
perception
where I felt like I was in charge, but it was like my subconscious, like some part of my subconscious or my ego, because I was like the Hulk and I was just smashing cars and throwing them through buildings and just destroying a city.
Rampage, bro.
I had a legitimate full-on rampage dream.
Yeah.
And it was quite
sounds kind of fun.
It actually was.
Yeah.
It was legitimately fun.
Yeah.
But it was also kind of cathartic.
Right.
And that part of it made me go,
what's wrong with me?
Well, a lot of things.
Yeah.
But that part of it made me go, okay, that was something there was some meaning there. There was some process happening there with emotions being released or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a tricky thing. Is like when you wake up from a dream that's like really intense or really vivid, how do you go about assigning? Do you assign any meaning to it?
There's a whole school of thought that wants to analyze dreams, and there's so many people who like have a theory of how to analyze dreams, like, and it's a lot of it to me seems like astrology.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, this you see a cat in your dream, it means blah, 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 or whatever.
Right.
But there's a lot of people who are, I think they go more into like, okay, in this dream, the whatever is symbolizing something in your mind or in your life.
Yeah.
There was this really interesting map that I saw of most common dream across the world, like by country.
Yeah.
Most Western countries, like, North America and most of Europe, most common dream was teeth falling out. I think I know I've had that dream I'm guessing you probably have.
I have.
But here's the thing. It was really interesting to see a lot of other countries had snakes or babies.
Right.
Those were like the next top two most common.
Right.
And then there were a few that had really esoteric, like surprise, random thing, like horse.
Horse or horse?
The four-legged animal. The equine.
Okay. A little pony.
I forget. It was super interesting though.
That is interesting
to see that there, like, if you look at dreaming, if you're studying dreaming and you look at it across the world, the culture, the society that you live in
dictates
or environment maybe
that makes perfect sense.
Seems to have a direct influence on the content of like what is the most common dream in this population.
I believe that. I think that if we had a scanner that could look exactly at your dreams and what you were dreaming, you could probably, within some realm of accuracy, determine what part of the world someone was from based on their dreams. If it was like a repeatable pattern or repeatable behavior.
Definitely.
And also, like, you know,
like GeoGuessr with dreams.
For sure. For sure. And let's be clear. Most people in the UK, their teeth actually are falling out. So that's not too far-fetched.
That's a bit of a stereotype.
It's a funny one though, so I said it.
Yeah.
That's pretty fascinating though, dude. That's pretty fascinating. I definitely have, and I've actually done some. I've looked into it here and there. Like, what do dreams mean? Do they mean anything? And I think one of the things they say about like teeth falling out is like it's a sign of insecurity.
Right.
That's what I've seen. Like it dictates like you're afraid of like how you look to others. Maybe not physically 100%. Maybe partially. Maybe that too, but just how you appear to other people, in general.
I think I read someone interpreting it as, it's a sign that you're feeling like you're losing control or you're lacking control of something in your life.
Me too. That could cause insecurity as well.
And both of those seem totally plausible.
For sure. Yeah.
But science has yet to get a grip on dreams, and it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of funding.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
Like, is there?
'Cause there's no money in it.
There's no sleep. There's no Dream Institute.
Yeah.
We need Dream
no
Corp
dream
LLC.
lobbyists. We do. What does it mean? Because when I was younger, hasn't happened in a long time, but like when I was younger, I'd have dreams of like this recurring dream all the time of being in an elevator, but I'd be in my bed, and the bed would be in an elevator, and it would just be falling, just infinitely, just like at a fast rate. And I was in bed, just falling, just like you just feel the force of just falling, like a pit in your stomach, almost like you were skydiving, but just going down infinite floors. But I was in bed, and I was like, oh god.
I don't know what that means, and it sounds awful.
It was terrible.
It
wasn't pleasant.
There's all kinds of things that I could say that I think that it means.
Do you ever have a recurring dream like that? Like something more specific to you? That was
not
my big
that
one.
I can think of.
Yeah.
I have had dreams where I've been somewhere completely not real. Like it doesn't exist in reality as far as I know. It exists only in my dream. But I have had dreams multiple times where I end up like I've been here before. Like not deja vu, like I recognize this from a previous dream. It's almost like there's some memory that you retain of dreams that's not accessible when you're conscious.
Right.
But when you're unconscious, when you're dreaming, at least for me, I'm like, I recognize this place. I've been here before.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that there's at least one place that I've dreamed of, like completely imaginary, but I've been there at least 3 different times in my dreams.
Yeah.
And each time I was like, oh, yeah, I remember this place. Why am I here again?
Have you felt like every time you experience that, do you feel like increasingly more familiar or comfortable in that place than you did the time before? Where you're like, oh, I've been here several times. I feel like
maybe a little bit. I don't think that it made a huge difference.
yeah, but some familiarity was there, almost like this weird memory.
The thing
put your finger
thing
on.
about dreams is they're really tricky. They're like dry ice. They sublimate. You wake up and you have a vivid memory of a dream. Normally, let's say ice. Ice has to melt into water, and then it has to boil off into steam before it's a cloud.
Yeah.
And you can't really grab it or touch it anymore.
Yeah.
But dry ice sublimates. It goes directly from being a solid
to a gas.
Yeah. And that's what dreams do. Is you wake up and they're there. You can remember them. And you can hold on to them, and then they're gone. You can't. They just unless you, at least for me, I had a period of time where I was trying to dream journal, and I don't know if you search dream journaling, if it's about people who journal about their dreams, like what are your dreams in life, or their actual dreams that happen at night. But I was journaling. I would wake up and journal, try to write down what I had remembered from a dream, and that would actually, like I was talking about journaling earlier, when you put it on paper, it helps it stick.
Right.
Like even just having a brief description of something would help me retain the memory of that dream way better.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. That's why you take notes in class, right? You retain the information a lot more.
There's a fun subreddit called Thomas the Plank Engine. That's all about people who just they take like the nonsense randomness that they got from a dream and turn it into like a meme, or maybe they're dreaming memes. I don't know.
Sure,
they're dreaming like I had a dream that this was a super popular meme, and it's just total nonsense, but it's still kind of funny, interesting.
Gotcha.
Shout out to that because I read it sometimes and it's amusing. The one that I remember for some reason one of the most amusing dreams that I remember readily is it was at some kid's Christmas party, not a Christmas party, just like a birthday party or something for kids.
Yeah.
And Ron Perlman, he was in Pacific Rim. He was the guy with like the golden. He was the gangster guy with the golden shoes.
Ron Perlman?
Yeah. All right.
God damn.
Hang on.
Wait, hold on.
I actually tried. Okay, while you look this up.
Yeah.
I tried to get an AI to make a visual representation of this.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, this is restricted content. Like
yeah.
We don't like your request. Okay, so
he was in Drive.
Yeah, that guy. So I had a dream of Ron Perlman. He was the entertainer at a kid's birthday party.
Yeah.
Except his body was tiny. Like he was 3 feet tall, but it was his normal sized head.
His head was still massive. And
for some reason, that was the funniest shit. It made me like
he's like a bobblehead.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just like this image
that's crazy.
Left a lasting impression because I thought it was so funny. I woke up and I was like,
yeah,
that's the damnedest thing.
That's crazy. That is crazy. He'd be a funny person to be a bobblehead because he's just normally he's a bigger guy.
Yeah,
he's like the Rock.
Like so it would be a huge head.
What were you doing with him? You were just hanging out?
No, it was I was just I was observing. It was just him like being the hired entertainer.
Yeah.
At a kid's birthday party, just having fun with the kids. Like
he was the hired entertainer.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I remember I had a dream with like Tom Welling, who was the actor from Smallville. You probably never watched it because you weren't allowed to watch TV in high school. But in high school, there was a show on WB, Warner Brothers, called Smallville, and it was about basically Superman.
Okay.
Tom Welling played Clark Kent, more or less, and it was a modern take on the Superman series.
Mm-hmm.
Mega popular show. He's like this like dreamy white dude, and I had a dream one night that I teamed up with Tom Welling to blow up a Walmart. We just plotted to like.
Were you just raging against the machine?
Plant like I don't. It was more sadistic. It was more like evil.
Like a terrorist plot?
Tom Welling was like evil. Like he was a terrorist plot. He was like he's being a dick.
Yeah.
And he was like really like mean. And I was just like, it's Superman. I have to like go along with it. And we were like gonna blow up a fucking Walmart. And it was like he like had the explosives, and I was just like a pawn, you know? I was like, I can't go up against this guy.
So did you follow through, or did it switch tracks?
I don't remember. I think I might have woken up before the explosion. But I remember feeling so like it felt so real that I felt panicked when I woke up. Like as if like the feds were right on my tail. Right?
Because you didn't cover your tracks when you were planning to blow up that Walmart.
No, I didn't. You know, which I needed to. Like, I wasn't Superman. I couldn't just fly away.
Right.
I was vulnerable. He was like manipulating me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had many dreams like that where, oddly enough, like dreams where I've killed someone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually never anyone specific that I've killed. But it's just like I've murdered someone.
Yeah.
And I spend the rest of my dream just trying to evade the cops. And it's like it's like a chasing. It's a chasing.
It's
nightmare.
very stressful.
I mean, imagine that in real life. That's how I feel in the dream.
Yeah.
Like you're just on the run. Like at any moment, your life could be over. Like once you're caught, you are fucked. And I that's another recurring dream of mine. Very often, I would say, as of the last few years, the number one recurring dream is like I've killed someone and I'm on the run. Do I fly to a different country? You know, who can I trust? How do I get money? How do I get on a flight? It's very common.
Let's not make your dreams come true.
Yeah, let's keep it that way. Let's keep it a
that
dream.
sucks, man. That's a stressful one.
It's a bummer. Yeah, I don't like it.
You know, okay, I don't know if it's unique to me, but I very rarely dream about people I know. Like,
yeah,
like very rarely do like
same. I think
like
very rarely, pretty
even
rarely.
people I'm extremely close with. Like most of the people who appear in my dreams are randomly generated.
Same.
Huh.
Once in a while, I might have someone I know in there,
Which is interesting because so many people talk about like dreaming of like family members and you know, relationships and blah blah blah.
Right.
And I don't know. I must be tuned to a different channel or something.
Yeah. No. Same dude. It's usually just random people, faces that I have never seen before in real life.
Yeah.
But sometimes in the dream, I feel like oh, I know them.
Yeah. Totally.
Like, oh, you're my best friend, or you're my lover, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like I wake up and I'm like, who the hell was that, dude?
Yeah.
I don't know that person. Yeah, 100%.
Dreams are weird. I think I was the one who brought up the subject.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did. It's something that we haven't really talked about at length on the show so far. And,
if you have weird dreams,
please share them in the Discord. Ooh, maybe I'll make a channel for that.
Ooh, and if you have weird dreams and you have the free time to create AI illustrations of them, and they don't get blocked by content filters.
Right. Yeah. And also by YouTube TOS, because we'll be posting it on YouTube. Put it in the Discord. I'll create a channel for it. I'll create a channel called Dreams.
With 3 Z's?
With Dreams.
That would be that sounds like a name for a strip club.
Who knows? Maybe it could be a dual purpose channel.
No, let's keep it focused.
Yeah. Everyone buckle down.
Because
everyone just keep your cool. And
you don't want Taylor Swift.
Oh God, Taylor Swift lawyers coming after us.
Yeah.
All that shit.
Yeah.
Oh God. All right, we won't get into that. But thank you for watching this episode.
Oh yes, thank you for watching. Before we close out.
Oh yeah.
Key point is bottom to top.
What is that?
That's the answer to the earlier question that was posed.
Oh damn!
I missed 90% of those, and I'm okay with that.
Bottom to top.
Bottom to top. What do you think that's in reference to?
I don't know. I feel like this is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where like I know the answer, but I don't know the question.
Do you wipe from bottom to top to bottom, or
bottom to top? Oh yeah. Well, that's like the normal. That's the normal move.
Is it though?
Who wipes from top
viewers, tell us what's normal.
If you wipe from top to bottom, just unfollow now. That's insane. Who wipes from top to bottom? How do you even do that? From in between the legs? How do you wipe from
Wait,
top to
how are
bottom?
you interpreting this?
Bottom to top means like you reach around and you start from like where your taint is more or less, and then you wipe up like the crack. Top to bottom means I would assume that you like reach in between your legs and you start from way back and then you wipe forward towards your grundle, towards your junk.
I think you could do that side saddle as well.
How do you like from behind and then you go down?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds counterintuitive.
Well,
but you guys weigh in.
Here's the thing.
You guys
who
weigh in.
taught you who literally taught you to wipe your ass?
Probably my mom. I
mean,
imagine.
Someone
maybe
maybe some or you figured it out on your own.
I don't know.
However you were taught, you modified it over your lifetime to just be like, this is my wiping style.
I'll ask my mom. Be like, did you teach me how to wipe my ass? Mom, if you're watching right now, did I do that myself? Did I learn that, or did you teach me? I feel like she taught me. Because how else would I know?
I mean, you get. I don't know how. I don't know.
Or I think the way you would learn as a kid, if no one actually explicitly taught you, would be you would model how your parent wiped your ass. So if your parent wiped you from bottom to top, you would emulate that. That's possible.
I
think that could be it.
Well, we need to end. So anyway.
Yeah. I'll ask. But weigh in. Are you a bottom to topper or a top to bottomer?
And how did you get there?
And how did you arrive at that destination?
Because in truth, I was top to bottom.
Like when you first started wiping?
Until I think my early 20s or something.
Oh wow.
And then for some reason I transitioned.
When you were a young adult, you decided I'm going the other way.
Yep.
Just arbitrary, like no real rhyme or reason.
It was just
felt natural.
Yeah, I was like, I'm doing it this way now.
Yeah, I've always been bottom to top. So,
well, sorry that you've always been doing it the right way, and I've spent a lot of my life doing it the wrong way.
It's a higher evolution, it's a higher state.
You are a highly advanced being.
Yes, I am. And you're a highly advanced being too. If you're watching this show, thank you guys so much for watching.
Darn right.
Follow the Discord link in the description. We will see you next week.
Later.